we are at Heartland Motorsports Park today doing a track day on the new GSXR and Ducati 1198S. I missed the first half of the day because it was raining pretty hard, track very wet. I just didn't want to take any chances, especially with more track, less rain-oriented tires. So there's about 3 or 4 sessions left in the day, and we will see what this GSXR is all about. Hauling both the bikes here was a little bit of a pain. I used the 5x9 U-Haul trailer, which you have to point one bike forward and one bike backwards so that you can utilize the tie downs on the corners here to kind of bring the forks down. You do need to have the ramp version so that the front tire of the backwards facing bike actually can push up against it. But I'll make a video showing how I did all that tying down. A little bit of a pain, but it is possible. You can see both bikes are taped up, mirrors removed. Should be good to go. I'll be running in the intermediate group today. I think that's a good suiting for my skill level. I'm just hoping the track has dried off and there's not too many wet spots to catch me off guard out there. And here we are back at home. The bikes are tucked back into the garage. It is a day later, which has given me a chance to decompress and absorb all of the thoughts I've had with riding the bikes back to back, the Suzuki and the Ducati. The once new Michelin Power GP tires are now properly scrubbed in on the Suzuki, and it still looks just as nice as it did when it left for the track day. Only a couple minor casualties as a result of riding on the track. The brake lever adjustment knob did fall off while I was out there, so I've got a new one coming along with the spring pin that holds it in place. And then on the Ducati, one of the well nuts that holds the windscreen in fell out. Somehow I was able to save the bolt, but the well nut is gone, so I've got a new one of those coming as well. But otherwise, everything looks nice and good. It is unfortunate that the group sticker on the Suzuki got put right in the line of sight of the camera, so I apologize about that. I'll think about that next time. I'll make sure it doesn't get put there. But general thoughts about riding these bikes back to back. Initial impression, this GSX-R is incredibly easy to ride quickly. Way more so than the Ducati. I'm used to the Ducati now, and so I know the kind of inputs you need to get it to kind of change direction. It does require a bit more muscling around, but the Suzuki, just generally, all of the inputs are so light and springy and wonderful. It has excellent feedback. The engine is just buttery smooth. I mean, coming out of corners, it's just, it doesn't feel like it's going to spike you with a bunch of power suddenly like the Ducati. Ducati has a ton of torque just basically everywhere. Where the Suzuki, it's kind of just more softer, and it lets you build into that power curve. And it's a lot easier to just ride quickly. Another thing are the brakes. My God, are they good on this bike. I mean, they should be, with the amount of money that's been invested in the braking system on this. I mean, it's just amazing. Barely any pull at the lever, and it is just, it's scrubbing speed so fast. The pads are probably more race spec pads, so there really wasn't any fade or anything. But generally, this bike is so flickable. It can just transition side to side so well. It just feels so light on its feet. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I love the thing. It is wonderful. The slipper clutch is super light. There's very minimal engine braking, which I actually prefer. The Ducati is got a gobs of engine braking, and it actually can get you in trouble. It got me in trouble the last track day I went to. If it accidentally catches a false neutral and you're not properly trail braking into a corner, suddenly you'll be going a lot faster into a corner than you intended to be. This bike, it doesn't make you rely so much on the engine braking, because it's just so light in that regard. So you really are using your brakes to slow down and enter a corner. So that's great. I love that. The transmission, it's just snickety smooth. It just goes right into the gear. It goes down into gears so smoothly and effortlessly. That quick shifter, man, has spoiled me. I've never experienced a quick shifter before, and on the track, it just makes so much sense. It prevents you getting the chassis unbalanced when you're kind of coming out of a corner. You need to make a shift. If you want a short shift or whatever, there's no need to come off the throttle or anything like that. It's wonderful. In fact, I got so used to it. It just seemed so second nature using it that when I went back to riding the Ducati, I tried to act like it had a quick shifter, and I forgot that it didn't. And it's like, crap. I gotta actually kind of roll off the throttle real quick to kind of do a quick shift type action, which is fine. This bike handles it well, but it is one more thing you have to keep in mind when you're, doing other things, focusing on trying to make sure you get the right line and all of that. So having a quick shifter just makes it that much easier to ride a little bit faster. Traction wise, since both of the bikes are wearing the same rubber, they felt basically identical. Granted, I'm not someone who's pushing it to the limit. I'm not at that level by any means, but yeah, it was never any situation where I felt like I was lacking grip. Now, scrubbing in the new tire on the Suzuki, at least those first couple laps, it was a little hairy and a little wobbly in some spots, but that went away pretty quickly, and they heat up so fast and grip so well. For a track and street tire, I can't imagine you getting anything much better. And the wear life is amazing. I mean, I've taken this now to 3 track days, and it still basically looks new. And you know, some of that's the track surface, some of that's just the temperature you're riding around in, and then some of it's just how aggressive you are being with the throttle. But in general, I'm very impressed with these Michelin Power GP tires. Great on both bikes for sure. Now I think the Suzuki, it needs a bit more suspension tuning. I think it still could benefit from some stiffer springs to match my riding weight, but overall, just made a couple little tweaks with the rebound that a friend suggested, and it did make quite a bit of difference in the front end feel, so that was pretty cool. I think I was probably still a little smoother and a little faster on the Ducati just because I'm used to it. But I think that will soon be eclipsed by this Suzuki just because it's more welcoming to ride. It doesn't feel like it's gonna bite you. It didn't do anything weird to me. I never found a false neutral or anything like that. It just felt very secure and well engineered and just well put together. You probably caught this in the video, but I found myself short shifting this Suzuki quite a bit. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because the exhaust is loud, or maybe I'm just not used to that RPM band that an inline 4 runs in, because I'm used to the Ducati that's kind of just shift earlier generally. But that's something I'll just have to get used to again on an inline 4. It's like you can really kind of take it up past 10,000 RPM. It's not a problem. That's what it's made to do, and that's where a lot of the power really lives. So that's something I'm just going to have to get better at for sure. I like this race dash. It's very clear when you're out there on the track. There's no glare on this style of screen, unlike the Ducati. You get a bit of glare there, more glossy screen. And then lastly, the rear sets. I could tell that the rear sets on the Suzuki are a bit higher than on the Ducati, and I kind of liked it as far as being on the track. On the street, it's a bit uncomfortable. It's pretty cramped, but on the track, you just know you're not going to have clearance issues. Your boots aren't going to drag on the ground because those things are so high. It just gives you a bit more confidence when you're at more extreme lean angles. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Very happy I got to get both bikes out to the track. A lot of fun, very cool to compare them back to back and see what they're all about. All that's left to do is get more track time on the books. These bikes are far more capable than I am, and I just need to improve as a rider and just get more comfortable at speed. That's all there is for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all again next time.